it's after hours, and some of the concept guys are working out some ideas, some rough sketches in the conference room. I'm going to go in here and take a look.
I've made a Christmas tree of meat.
Hi, guys.
That's you want. Hi. We're making chaos meat, man. Yes. It's too hot.
The lobster tail of meat. Meat. Lightning. I need lightning to make my man of meat alive.
Okay, so once we get done with that initial brainstorming, then we start drawing. And we start out rough, and in the case of the Chosen, we were going for a classic Warhammer Chaos Warrior look. So we experimented a lot with the proportions of the character and tried to really get that look while still bringing, a specific Zeech flavor to the design.
And now we're going to talk to concept artist Eric Polak, who is hiding here in this dark cubicle. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
He's doing just fine. And he's going to walk us through the process of actually generating the final concept art that we're using for the Chosen.
Well, we're basing the Chosen off the Chaos Warrior miniatures, so that was the first starting point. But we had to make a Zeechy version of it. And I don't know, most people see like the Adrian Smith paintings of these big, huge, heavily armored warriors, and they're pretty intricate and detailed. So we put a Zeechy slant on that, so it's not so brutal looking. I think this is one of the first illustrations that I did, actually, this one right here. But we ended up not really using it because we wanted more of a front view so we could see the armor a little better. But you can kind of see some of the things that we're starting to go for, some of this like stylized Zeech symbol in the armor, cool horns, big bulky blocky armor. The first version that we did was the tier 3 armor, which is a fairly high tiered armor. Zeech curves, kind of stylized Zeech symbols. One of the things that Games Workshop wanted was fluting in the armor, so we incorporated some of that. We like using Zeech crazy eyes. Eventually it evolved into, this is the painted version. There were minor changes. They have kind of like a Skeksis looking bird face, since their god is that big bird guy. Kind of bluish tint to the armor, because blue is one of Zeech's colors. Big armor, kind of like, when you look at this guy, kind of silhouette's fairly blocky shaped. We wanted this guy to be kind of like a big man mountain coming at you, about to slice you in half. We have several tiers of armors. This is one of the less powerful versions, not as ornamented, has more chainmail and less of the plates. Still has that kind of Chaos Warrior, Chaos Champion, or Chosen, I think they're calling it now, look. As concept artists, we're trying to get as much detail as we can in there at the time for the time allotted. So, all kinds of scratches and rust, so hopefully that gets translated into the finished model. I think this is the most impressive version we have currently. This one is completely decked out, has all kinds of decorative elements, so it's kind of very intricate in comparison to some of the other tiers. Again, we tried to incorporate Zeech, things that we consider Zeech stuff, like the eyes, the curves, but still make it kind of sharp and deadly, even though it's like a graceful curve. We still want it to look menacing, it could kill you at any second.
Now we're going to go ahead and talk to lead character artist Jeff Mianowski, who is in here with Jeremy Dale from 2 months ago. Hello, Jeremy. And hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Jeff is going to show us how we move from concept to actually getting things into the game.
So we get these concepts, quite awesome concepts, and the first thing we do is go into 3D Studio Max, if I can actually do that, and build the model in 3D according to the concept. You can see that it's basically like you work kind of in wires. It's like if you were ever to do paper mache project, making a wire frame. So once you've got the model done, you have to unwrap the outer shell to paint the texture on top of it. And so you unwrap it and it looks like this. So each piece on the model is represented here in the wire frame on a flat plane that we can paint on. So I select this section, and that's this section of the model. So there's the arm, shoulders are down here. Alright, so we take this wire frame that we've now flattened, go back into Photoshop, and we've got it here, and over the wire frame we paint various details. Always referring to the concept, the different parts, the different colors and the different metals, and making sure that you're matching to what the concept does. So here's the chest piece and getting the star in and everything. So once we've painted everything on here, and you go back and forth, and once you start painting, you can paint it back onto the model in Max, in 3D Studio Max. And there he is with the texture painted onto him. Oops. Neat.
Alright. In a moment we're going to take a look at this guy in the game. So here we have him, our chosen finally in the game. This is our art test area, so if you see weird incongruous architecture or strange enormous things walking around in the background, that's why. So Jeff's going to talk us through some of this.
So basically, after we've gone through the stages of painting it and modeling it and painting it, we have to rig it to a skeleton, and that basically means you attach different parts of the model to a skeleton, and that's what the animator uses to make the animations and make him move. So that is Jeremy's job. Hand it off to him, and we can get it back and we can test it in the game. Make sure that everything's working okay. Make sure that when they're running around, they're not dark pieces breaking and running into themselves. And then if there are, they kick it back to us and we make the fixes. If not, then yay, we've got a new piece of armor in the game.
Thank you very much. Up next, a little special treat. We're going to get a preview of RVR. Go!
Smash me.
War is everywhere.